Feet. Tell me, can you see your feet there? Or do you sense them?
I sense my feet not very clear.
They're not very clear. What I want you to do is I want you to take a nice deep breath in. And when you breathe out, I want you to blow away the image in front of you so that you can see your feet clearly. And you can see the ground around you. And tell me, are you wearing anything on your feet there?
No.
No. And as you look at your feet there, Fee, I want you to tell me, do they look young or old? How old do you feel? How old do you sense that you are?
I'm in my 20s.
You're in your 20s. Very good. And as you look at what you're wearing, and you're going to be able to sense and know and feel, look at your hands, feel your head, see if you're wearing anything on your head. Tell me, do you feel that you're male or you're female?
Female.
You're female. And if you're a female in your 20s, you'll have a name. What do people call you in that life? Just hear your name being called. What's the first impression?
Chinese.
Say that again.
Chinese.
Chinese. Chinese, describe yourself to me. What do you feel that you look like?
I'm wearing a long grey dress that looks a bit ragged.
A long grey dress that's ragged.
And something in my waist.
And something on your waist.
Yes, I'm wearing a head wrap as well.
A head wrap.
And I'm quite slim.
And you're
tall.
slim and tall. So now what I want you to do is I want you to just get the sensation that you're turning your head from left to right now. Very good. And as you do, I want you to sense whether you're inside or whether you're outside. What's your first impression?
Inside.
You're inside. So Janice, what I want you to do is I want you to describe where you are. Look around and tell me, what do you sense? What do you feel?
I'm in a wooden house in a kitchen. On my right hand side is a fireplace.
A wooden house in the
Fire
kitchen
burning.
with a fire.
Then I can see the orange red flames.
With orange red flames. And tell me, are you cooking anything there, Janice?
No.
I want you to look around and get the sense. Do you live there alone, Janice, or do others live there with you?
I'm alone in this room.
You're alone?
See pots along the wall and plates.
Pots on the wall and plates. Is this a place where you live, Janice? Or is this a place where you work?
I think I work here.
Yeah. So as you work in that wooden house in the kitchen, I want you to connect with the people that you work with and just make an intention to connect with them now and tell me, who is it that you work for there, Chanice?
I see a big man.
A big man? Uh-huh. And I want you to get a little closer so that you can sense his energy and tell me, how do you feel around this man?
A little scared.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So is he the only person that you work for?
I think so.
Mm-hmm. What I want you to do now, and you'll be able to do this so easily, knowing that the eyes are the windows to the soul, I want you to look straight into his eyes, and as you connect with his eyes, mind to mind and soul to soul, you'll just get an impression of whether or not he's in your life today as someone else. Is he here today working with you?
No.
Not today. Mm-hmm. So Chanice, you're 20 years old. You'll know what country you're in. And as I talk to you now and you connect with the country that you're in, tell me, is it a cold country or a warm country?
Cold.
It's a cold country. Mm-hmm.
It's dark.
Cold and dark, yeah. And I want you to connect now and tell me what country that is. You'll just see something come to mind.
This is a Scandinavian countries.
It's what countries?
Scandinavian countries.
Scandinavia. Mm-hmm. So how long have you been working for this man, Chanice?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So where are your own family, Chanice? Do you have a family? Just take on board that thought. And it'll be the first impression that comes. Do you have a family?
I'm all alone here. I have no family.
Uh-huh. No family. Mm-hmm. Well, in a moment, I'm going to count down from 3 to 1. And when I get to 1, you will see some numbers come to mind. And those will be the year that you're living in Scandinavia. So when you're ready, 3, seeing numbers come now, 2 and 1. What numbers do you see there, Chanice?
1295.
What 95?
1295.
1295. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. So what I want you to do now, Chanice, now that I've got all that information, I'd like you to close that scene because I want us to go forward in the same timeline to another important time when something is happening. So when you're ready, just close that scene now and allow your mind to drift and wander going forward in that life. Very good. Drifting and floating through time and space. I'm going to count from 3 to 1, and when we get to 1, you're going to be at the next significant time in that life when something important and significant is happening for you. So when you're ready, 3, drifting and floating forward now. 2, getting closer and closer to that next event. And 1, be there now. How old do you feel now, Chinice?
An old woman.
You're an old woman. And are you still in that same wooden house that you were in Scandinavia? Look around, just connect with your...
No,
Just feel where you are. Are you inside or are you outside, Janice?
I'm outside.
You're outside. Yeah? And do you feel that you're on your own there, Janice? Or are you with other people?
I'm on my own. I'm sitting at that bench before the bridge.
You're sitting at a bench before a bridge. So I want you to connect with your mind then, Janice, and I want you to tell me what is going through your mind as you're sat on this bench by this bridge.
I'm reflecting. I'm sitting on the bench looking across. I can see a cottage to my right, an old cottage. I'm content and I'm looking across the river.
And do you want to cross the bridge to the other side of the river?
I feel comfortable sitting on the bench.
You feel this cottage, this old cottage that you see, is that where you live?
Yes.
Yeah. So now that you've brought me to this scene, why are you reflecting there? What's so important about this scene, Janice?
I feel rested till I've come through a difficult life and I'm content now.
And you're content now. Tell me, Janice, are there any others around you near this cottage?
There's someone working in a field across the cottage.
Yeah. Well, let's go towards that field then. Just feel yourself now, walking towards that field, drifting and floating with your mind, getting closer and closer. And tell me, is that male or female in the field?
The male.
It's a male in the field. And how old do you think that male is?
In
In
the 60s.
the 60s.
The 60s.
And I want you to connect with that man there and tell me, does he have a name? Can we call him by something today?
Gunther.
Grunther? Gunther. So who is Gunther in relation to you? Why is he there?
He seems kind and gentle towards me.
Kind and gentle. Well, I want you to walk up to him now, knowing that the eyes are the windows to the soul. And I want you to specifically look right into the windows of the soul there, right through the eyes, right to the very core of the soul, to communicate with his essence and tell me, is Gunther in your life today at all? Just your first impression, who comes to mind?
Yes.
He is today. Who is he?
Friend of mine.
He's a friend. Very good. So tell me, Janice, are you still in Scandinavia there? Or have you travelled somewhere else?
Still feels like a Scandinavia country, but there's tall grass around us.
Tall grass. And Janice, did you have any children in that life?
No.
No children. So what I want to do now is I want to go, Janice, to the last day of your life. So I want you to close that scene now of you reflecting on by that bridge and by that old cottage. Just close that scene as if you're flicking the switch of a remote control. Very good. And just allow your mind to drift and wander, drifting, floating so easily. And we're going to go to the last day of that life, knowing that you're just viewing, you're not feeling anything, you're just viewing and reporting back to me. So when you're ready, 3, drifting, floating towards the last day of that life. 2, getting closer and closer, and 1. Be there now. So tell me, are you inside or out? Where do you feel that you are?
Inside another building, empty.
You're inside another building that's empty.
A cottage with a thatched roof.
You're what, sorry?
It's a cottage with a thatched roof.
Cottage with a